Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. I love sharing these with you because I love cooking and I love trying out new recipes. So in today's video, I've got 3 really easy, fun dinner recipes for you. So let's get right into cooking. All right guys, so for tonight's dinner, I'm kind of making it up as I go along, but we're gonna do a skillet meal. I've got some apple chicken sausage in the refrigerator that I wanted to use up. We're gonna use some sweet potatoes, some pineapple chunks, some broccoli. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm gonna cut up the sweet potato and then we'll start cooking that because that's probably gonna take the longest. All right, so I've got a skillet heating up at about medium or maybe a little bit lower heat. I'm gonna put some avocado oil in and then we're gonna start cooking the sweet potatoes. Give them a little bit of a head start over the chicken sausage. I'm gonna slice up these chicken sausages I got from Aldi. They are already cooked, so I don't have to worry about them cooking through, but I will want them to get a little bit brown. These are the apple chicken sausages. So guys, this dinner, I just kind of made it up as I went along, but the pineapple sounded really good with the apple sausages. And I love pineapple in like warm dishes. So I cooked the sweet potatoes until they were nice and tender, or mostly tender. Then I threw in the sausage and that just needed to be heated through. And I do like them a little bit brown. Added in some pineapple chunks and a little bit of pineapple juice, a few crushed red pepper flakes, and some coconut aminos, which is what we use instead of soy sauce, and cooked it until everything was cooked, like the potatoes were tender and the chicken sausage was nice and warm through, and served it alongside some steamed broccoli. This was really, really good, and I just kind of made it up as I went along, but it was one of those that like actually worked. It was really good. So for tonight's dinner, I was planning to do, and am going to do, a cheesy sausage potato crock pot meal. I had seen this on Shauna's channel at the Dickinson Homestead, and I will leave her channel linked below, along with, if I can find it, the specific, well, I can find it because I found it today, the specific video that this recipe was shared. When I was watching it, her video the first time, I just kind of jotted everything down, and I was like, I'll just throw it together and do my own thing. Well, I decided to watch it again today, and I'm glad I did because one of the ingredients is cheddar cheese soup, which all I had written down was cheese. And I don't have any cheese soup. I don't really buy like canned soups, but I found online a recipe to make your own. I don't have quite all of the right ingredients for that, but I'm gonna make it anyway with some substitutes. Her original recipe was super like dump and go. So if you want the basic easy one, definitely can check out her video. I will have the links with that. I will also have the links with the like making your own cheddar cheese soup as well. But I'm gonna do my thing. But I just wanted you to know this is typically, it's a very easy dump and go crock pot recipe. But I don't always do things the way you're supposed to because I do my own thing. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so for this cheddar cheese soup, I've got 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted, and I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of flour, and I'm gonna whisk that together for about 1 minute. I do have this on low temp as the recipe suggests. All right, so now I'm adding in 1 cup of milk. I'm using almond milk just because that's what we use. And then the recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of dried mustard. I do not have dried mustard. So I am going to just use regular mustard. I don't know if that's an adequate substitute, but it's going to be. I don't feel like my salt shaker, whoops, lets the salt out very quickly. I think my mustard's almost gone. Guys, this is cooking real life. Once this is nice and smooth, we're going to whisk in a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese and just get that melted and smooth, and then we'll be done. Apparently, it's that easy. All right, so here is how it came out. I am just gonna trust the recipe on this one, and we're gonna get started putting everything in the crock pot. All right, so since the recipe calls for like those frozen shredded potatoes, I cut my potatoes up really small. I'm adding this to a greased crock pot, and I just kind of made them in like smaller pieces. I also don't want this to take forever to cook because it's kind of late that I'm getting started, and I am not making a huge batch, so you know, feel free to add more. I did 3 potatoes, but only one of them was like a pretty good size. The others were kind of small. All right, and now I'm just gonna add in my sliced sausage. I'll show you what one I used. I just used this one here from Aldi, and now I'm realizing the liquids I have might be a lot since I'm making a smaller amount, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be good over whatever veggie I make. I am gonna make a veggie on the side. I was actually thinking of putting broccoli just right in here, but I don't know if I have frozen broccoli. I think we might end up doing green beans tonight, so I'll just cook them on the side, but any sauce left over will probably be good on them. All right, now we're gonna go in with some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper if you so choose. I'm not a pepper fan, so my husband adds that to dishes as he wishes. I'm rhyming. You guys probably aren't nearly as entertained as I am, but you know, that's okay. Now we're gonna add in 1 can of evaporated milk. And our cheese sauce, or cheese soup that we made. All right, now we are gonna put this on high for probably about 3 hours. All right, so it's looking really good and smelling really good. I decided to go with broccoli because I do have some, and I thought it would be good right in here with it. So I'm gonna put, I don't know, half a bag. Holy cow, those are huge chunks of broccoli. But I thought with the sauce that would taste really good. Sorry, I should have put my camera on the tripod. And now I gotta switch hands because I'm right-handed and I can't stir with my left. I'm just gonna mix this in and put the lid back on and let this go for, my husband's running out for a run right now, so probably, I don't know, probably eat in a half hour, 45 minutes. So you are supposed to also add in some sour cream at some point. Oh, it's getting a little on the side there. So I'm gonna turn this down to low, but I think this is going to be plenty warm to get that broccoli nice and tender. We're gonna just pop the lid back on, and I'm gonna turn that down to low just because it looked like some of the edges were getting a little bit brown, and let that go until it's time to eat. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I'm still supposed to come back and add some shredded cheese and sour cream. So I will do that in like maybe 20 minutes. All right, with just a, probably another half hour to go. It's probably gonna be ready before then, but we're not gonna be ready to eat for about another half hour. I'm just adding in some sour cream. I don't remember if Shauna said how much. In case you haven't figured out, I don't really care a whole lot about following recipes. So we're going to mix this sour cream in, and we're gonna add some cheddar cheese, some shredded cheddar cheese, just, I don't know, probably a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. I'm not doing a ton right here. I'm gonna save some for topping our bowls later. All right, we're gonna pop the lid back on and just let that sit till it's time to eat. And this is dinner for tonight. I just topped it with a little bit of shredded cheese and some bacon pieces. So for tonight's dinner, we are going to be making crock pot sloppy joes. I'm going to be serving them over potatoes because we don't have a ton of bread at the house. We don't eat a ton of potatoes either, but I do have some. And I'm actually not making them because I had some left over from a previous dinner where I had made some smashed potatoes. I don't know if that recipe's in this video or a different one, but so we're just going to use those. So I'm just doing the sloppy joe part, and I am just browning up the meat, and then we're going to throw everything into the crock pot for a few hours. So I'm just browning up my ground beef right now, and I'm using a little bit of avocado oil because this meat that I have that we got from a local farmer has like no fat in it. So I am just browning that up, and once that is all done, I am gonna salt this meat, but once that is all done, we will add everything into the crock pot and let it do its thing. All right, so I have my crock pot and it has been greased. I am making this recipe just a little bit less. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I'm using 1 pound. So I am guesstimating a little bit, but you're supposed to add 16 ounces of tomato sauce. I just have some that I had frozen that was left over, and I'm putting in that's probably about a cup, because I have 2.5 cups in here. So just adding that in, and it's frozen, but that's all right. So I'm gonna actually turn this on low, which is what we'll be cooking it on anyway, but I'm just gonna do that already since the tomato sauce is frozen. The recipe calls for 1/2 cup of ketchup, so I'm gonna do a little bit less than that. Two tablespoons of brown sugar is what we'll be adding now. Again, I'll do just a little bit less. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. 1 teaspoon of prepared mustard. I'm going to use Dijon just because that's what I have open at the moment. It was probably a solid teaspoon, so a little bit more than that than maybe I needed, but that's okay. And then 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. I'm just gonna guess on these. And then salt to taste. I did put some salt on the meat, but we'll go ahead, add a little bit more. And now that the meat is done, we're just going to add that. I guess I can turn off the vent so that maybe you can hear me better. This warm meat will also help break up that spaghetti sauce quicker too. Okay, so the recipe says to cook on high for 3 hours or low for 6. So I guess I should actually bump that up to high because it's already late. It's actually already like 5 o'clock, but my husband's helping his brother pick up some furniture. So we definitely won't be eating dinner till like after 8 o'clock. So that's why I am starting this late. So you just want to mix it all together. I will come back in probably like an hour and mix it really good, just since the sauce is still frozen, and I just want to make sure it all gets well combined. But that's going to be it. You're just going to let that go on low for 6 hours or high for 3. And then most people serve that over hamburger buns, but I like serving it over potatoes. So where's my lid? Sorry guys, I feel a little bit discombobulated today. And there you go. And here's dinner for tonight. Like I said, we served the sloppy joes on top of some leftover smashed potatoes from another night, but you could just do plain potatoes. You could cook those in the crock pot as well. Just rinse them and plop them in there. I don't even poke forks in them or put anything else in the crock pot, but just rinse them, and enough water from washing them is enough moisture. So you could do that, and then I just steamed up some green beans and corn. You could, of course, just eat the sloppy joes like other people do on rolls. Okay, well that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button below and the notification bell next to it so that you're notified when my next video comes out. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just how YouTube works. It helps creators out, but it also makes sure that you get to see my videos. So, all right guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.